Hello, my name is Alex and today I'll try to answer a very frequent question. Does WAMkey work on porcelain? This is a really hard question and to be honest with you, I can't give you a unique answer. It will depend on several factors. The first risk is to fracture the porcelain while creating the window. And of course, usually when you drill into porcelain, you don't try to save it. You don't really care at the way you drill into it. But in the case you really want to preserve this porcelain in order to reuse the crown, my suggestion is to avoid tungsten carbide burrs. Some of them would make the job without fracturing the porcelain, but 95% of these burrs will induce too much vibration and crack the porcelain. So please use diamond burrs exclusively. And if you are dealing with porcelain fused to metal, I even strongly recommend you to cut through the metal with a diamond burr too. Now, two more advices. Avoid putting pressure on the burr and drill as gently as possible. Second, add a lot of water. Now, the second risk is to fracture the porcelain while removing the crown. And the level of this risk mainly depends on three elements: the strength of the cement, the thickness of the crown, and the respect of the process. We can't do anything against the first element. I do not recommend to vibrate the crown with ultrasonics because this could damage the porcelain or the link between the porcelain and the metal. And if the thickness of the crown is determined before we start operating, of course, an important cause of fracture is more the reduction of this thickness while creating the tunnel between the abutment and the crown. So try to preserve the thickness. Don't drill into the thickness of the crown, but preferably into the dentin or into the preparation if you prefer. And this means that you have to drill much lower on porcelain crown than on a metal one. If you want to have an idea about how low, I recommend you to watch some of our clinical cases videos. Always remember, on porcelain fused to metal, you have double thickness. Now, let's talk about the process. It is evident that the lower the energy will be, the better it will be. And the best way to reduce this energy is to exert the pressure along the axis of the crown. This is why I strongly recommend you to check very carefully that your tunnel reached the center of the preparation. This is a very critical point. My advice: put a little rubber stop on your WAMkey number 1 in order to measure the depth like this. And leave the rubber stop on your instrument so you don't have to look for it each time you have to remove a crown. Another way to reduce this energy is to always start with the number 1. The smaller the instrument is, the closer the forces will be to the center. The closer the forces will be to the axis of your crown. And the easier it will be for your crown to find the weakness of the cement. Let me give you two more little tricks now. In order to reduce the friction between the instrument and the other surfaces, the prep and the crown, add some Vaseline or any lubricant on the working portion of the WAMkey. When I gave this idea to my father a long time ago, he didn't trust me. But a few years later, he confessed that he had used this trick several times with great success. So keep it in mind. The second trick is to enlarge the window a bit more than usual. This will prevent the instrument from touching the porcelain when you twist the instrument. So, I can't promise that you will succeed to preserve the porcelain in 100% of the cases, but if you follow my advices and with a little experience, I can promise you that you will quickly reach a 70 to 80% chances, which is still better than cutting everything. And if you want to increase your skills and your experience, don't wait for the hard cases to use the WAMkey. Use your WAMkey each time you have to remove a crown, even if you don't want to reuse it. You will save your time, you will save your burrs, and you will increase your experience. This was all for today. I really hope this will help you understand WAMkey a bit better. If you have some questions about the WAMkey or any of our instruments, do not hesitate to contact us. Have nice crown and bridge removals. Bye bye.